Hey, welcome back to Turntable Guy. We're not on the bench today, we're in the garage. Just got back from the thrift store and got a bit of a score today. These may not look like much at the moment, but what we've got here is we've got a pair of Pioneer DSS-7 speakers from around 1986. These are Japanese market, although they are available in North America as well, but made in Japan speakers. Highly regarded. A little bit under the radar. Usually you hear people talk about the HPM series. They were more of a JBL design. These are a little bit different. These were a in-house Japanese design, specifically made for, like quote-unquote digital sources, right? Supposedly to make this, to keep up with the CD at the time and digital dynamic range and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, we'll get into that a little bit later. So I was just walking through the store and I saw a pair of DSS-5s, which caught my eye, and I'm like, oh, I think I'll grab these. They were $15 each. And then just beside them were these ones. I saw the Pioneer badge. And you can just tell that these are not your cheap department store speakers. These are about 50 pounds each, so they're big and heavy. And that's the badge on them. And as you can see, looks like a kitty cat had used these at a scratching post at some time. So they're definitely going to need new grill covers. That's no big deal. That's really easy to do. AliExpress is a great place to buy speaker grill covers. You just buy the cloth and then you just strip them down and glue new ones on. It's not a big job. As you can see, these things are filthy, but the wood's in good shape. Yeah, it's dirty and the woofers need refoaming, but the spider feels good. And I'm going to do some tests to make sure everything's working. As far as I know, they are. Just because I did a quick test, what I like to do is I just get a little small battery, something around a volt or so, and I just touch the inputs, just put a little DC through the speaker system, and all the speakers made sound, so we should be good. But that's not a 100% test, but that's a trick we used to use when I used to work in car audio. These have adjustable mid-range and tweeter potentiometers. And there's the for digital audio, extended low frequency, electronic bass drive system. I'm not sure exactly what that means. As far as I know, a standard 12-inch foam surround should take care of these. But what I've been reading online is that you need to be extremely careful when refoaming these speakers, because this is not paper. It's actually graphite, and it's supposedly very brittle and will crack if you bend them in any way, shape, or form. So you have to be extremely careful when refoaming these. Here's where it gets kind of cool. So we've got what seems to be a standard mid-range, possibly aluminum, not sure. But here's where it gets a little special. Got a beryllium ribbon tweeter, which is pretty cool. It's so cool that they actually named it twice, just so you don't forget what kind of tweeter this is. Beryllium ribbon tweeter and beryllium ribbon tweeter. One thing about the Japanese, they loved to label things. I mean, look at all the labels on here. Speaker system, DSS-7, extended low frequency, and just in case you forgot, it's down here as well. So, but anyway, I'm going to make this a multi-part series. I think that it'll be cool to do something a little bit different, and these are definitely a set of speakers that I want to work on. So what I'm thinking is a general cleanup of the case and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's some small marks on the wood, like the corner here is a little bit delaminated. But overall, they're not bad, right? They need a good cleaning. This is a vinyl veneer. So if it really is in not good condition, you could re-veneer them. Also, obviously, new grill cloth. We'll do that. We're going to refoam them. And we're going to have a peek at the speaker crossover, which is just in there. See what condition the capacitors are in. I think from the service manual, I believe there are some electrolytic capacitors on there. So probably have a peek at that, check them, make sure they're in good shape. If they're not, we'll change them out. But we'll do a bit of a restoration series on these very cool speakers. And just so you know, I paid 20 bucks each for them. So it was $39.98 for the pair. And I've seen a couple ads. I mean, some of them are ridiculous. One guy was asking $3,600 for the pair. So, you know, good luck selling them, buddy. But I mean, even if they sold for like, you know, $500, $600, $700, I'm not sure exactly. It's a bit of a score, right? So, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what they sound like, because from what I've been reading on Audio Karma, they are very, very good speakers. There was the 5, the 7, and the 9, and there was also a 10, but it was a little bit of a different series. So anyway, I just wanted to start this series off with an introduction to this speaker, and look forward to more of this series going forward. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.